Marauders, welcome back to the channel. Today on the Polaris Ranger Trail Boss Northstar Edition 1000 XP, I'm sure that name is out of order. We're going to be installing my number 2 required accessory, rock sliders. My number 1 is a winch. My number 2 is rock sliders to protect the vehicle. Today we're going to be installing Polaris's rock sliders on the Ranger. Why do I think it's important? All my off-road equipment has rock sliders on it. You can see this one's got a slight dent here, but it protected the body of the vehicle. It's got some scuffs on it. Let's go over here to the Razor Pro. This happened the first time I took it out on the trail. Major dent. I actually remember where that happened. There's another dent here. Look at the scuff. There's also one on the bottom. Unless your property or the trails you ride are pool tables with sand, you need rock sliders. Sooner or later, you're gonna cut a turn short or be on a tight trail, and that rock slider is gonna bump into a tree, a rock, a root, and you're gonna wish you had it to protect your vehicle, especially on these very expensive doors, which are expensive to replace. They might be as much as $1,500. So let's go through the tools quickly I'm gonna use on this project. This is a complete, entirely M12, Milwaukee M12 project. So we have the rotary tool, which I'm gonna use to deburr the holes I have to cut into the lower rocker panel. My M12 Impact snubby. Some of you guys have this tool and you love it. And my M12 cordless drill. 13 millimeter socket with an extension. 13 millimeter wrench, ratcheting wrench. Hole saw. The instructions tell you to use an 1 3/4 hole saw, which is that just seems so much larger than what's needed. I'm gonna try to start off with an 1.5 hole saw. Of course, Loctite, I've hit Loctite on all the nuts and bolts. And then these are just decorator plugs that go in to hide the hole after you get the rock slider on. By the way, I have a plug on the other side that I hit a tree so hard, it actually disintegrated the plug. It smashed it into the tube, and then I think it fell off pressure washing. So this is the tools that are needed. This is the rock slider. What it looks like, this is the driver's side. It has a step built into it. I don't think I'll ever use that. I found that the manufacturers are doing a better and better job, all of them, well, 2 of them I know of, Can-Am and Polaris, at manufacturing their accessories for ease of installation. So let's get to it. We're gonna start off by drilling the lower rocker panels through the body works an 1.5 hole with a hole saw, and then we'll deburr it. So there are 3 areas on the lower rocker panel that are recessed. Polaris actually showed you, and I love when they do this. They show you with detents in the body work where you have to cut out to add accessories. And I really like that they do that. So there's 3 areas on the body that has to, on the lower rocker panel, where that has to be done. There's one up front, one behind the door, then one in the inner rear fender well. I have my 1.5 hole saw on my M12 drill. I'm going to carefully line that up. I don't know how careful I am. I'm going to carefully line that up to drill a hole. Hope you can see it. Okay. Easy work with good tools, right? Now I'm going to use my rotary tool with a sanding disc on it. And I'm going to clean that up. Okay, I think that came out really well, actually. Let me just scrape it with a utility knife. That came out really well. I'm going to hit that one more time to clean up the edge. I'm going to turn it on very low and just kind of clean up the edges. I may have some sandpaper. I just want to run that edge. Not a good piece of sandpaper. I'm really happy with that. Really happy. Let's see how it looks size-wise. I like it. I like it. Okay, let's do 2 more on this side. You set up, see if I give you a closer look. This one is in the corner of the fender, and boy, there are solid frame members behind each one of these. So Polaris wants you to put this bolt in first, the rear one in the fender well, before you do the middle one and the front one. So good news is my holes kind of line up. Actually, they line up. That is great, and it's a tight, look at, well, I'll show you in a minute. The fit is so tight on this one. Marauders, welcome to Underneath My Ranger. Polaris gives you a nice L bracket, okay? That's a retainer for the nut. The nut is mounted on it, and this, what it does is it rides on this frame, the bottom section of the frame, if you can see that. And they're offset, so the middle bolt, or the nut, there's one in the back, one in the front, and then one in the middle. These are offset per side. Right now I'm holding the right-hand side nut and the angle assembly. The left-hand side will be reversed. The nut will be on this side. Oh, I think I threaded it the first time. All right. So we got the M12 impact. I want to loosen this inner fender liner. That was tight. I want to loosen it and see if I can get this mount to go underneath it. Well, I think it's underneath it. And by the way, I think the front is very tight. And that's on #1 setting. I'm going to tighten this back up. So that's tight. I don't know if I like that that's split, but I think it's better underneath. It wouldn't go over it. Polaris states in their instruction manual that you may have to use nuts, which they supply. They give you 4 of them, instead of these nut assemblies with an angle on them, because the frames might not be perfectly aligned. And I was hoping that wouldn't be true. It certainly was true on the driver's side front mount. I could not get this to line up with the frame and the inner fender. I actually unbolted the inner fender and could not get this to line up. So it pays to read the instructions. I used a nut in place of the nut angle piece. So that's how that went. All the tools came in extremely handy. All of them, my Milwaukee M18 tools, I used every one of them. The hex drive impact, the snubby 3/8 drive impact, the roto tool, and my drill with the 1.5-inch bit. Now I will tell you, I would definitely use an 1.5-inch bit. I don't think you need to go 1 3/4 inches. That was not my problem in aligning that nut on the front of the machine. Gives you some protection from the rear. Again, that's where you need. It's really coming back here for support. Sticks out further than the door. Sticks out much further than the door. Maybe about 1 1/4 inches further than the door. Sticks out behind the door to protect the rocker panel. Good protection up front. Let's see how she looks with the door open. This is not going to go rock. This is not going to go rock climbing. I will probably take it on Susquehannock Trail, Majestic, maybe Demon. We'll see. I always worried about these cab units, how top heavy they are. Give you a look at the other side. Love the color on this machine. Also that one. That machine might be traded for something I'll talk about in an upcoming video. Marauders, thank you for coming back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed this video, maybe learned something from my mistakes. I was very well prepared for the video. Good thing, please, pays to read the instructions. Next up on this, I'll be installing a rear bumper and an interior storage box under the passenger seat. My Defender had it, and I think that's a great thing they have. I'm going to install that. Those are my next 2 videos on the Ranger, installing the rear bumper and the interior storage box under the passenger seat. Well, first of all, let's respect each other. Let's work and play safe. And I hope to see you on the trail. I wonder if I'm getting too old for this. I can't wait to do a review on this machine. The more I look at it and study it, the more I like Polaris's design and engineering. And I got to do that review. It might be coming up this month. I don't know. I have yet to really drive this around my property, but just the design features they have on it, I'll go through it, like how that door ties into the front body panels. Other manufacturers didn't do that. God bless. Thank you.